Yes, you
Okay,
are.
we are now, yeah, I don't even think I recorded last time. So now we are being recorded. Hi, everyone. We've had some technical difficulties tonight getting connected and getting on here. And so finally, everything is working. I just had to move, so I'm a little unorganized, but here we go. So we wanted to do an essential oils. I have the oils. Now what do I do with them? It's always nice to check in. When we have people come on board, new customers with us, it's always really important to me to always be checking in with people and supporting our customers with how to use the oils. So that's what tonight is all about. We'll have, if anyone has questions, please feel free to ask the person who introduced you to the oil. We also have our Essential Possibilities Facebook page. So that's a place also that is great to check in there for information. And if you have questions, you can ask them there too. When I got my oils 5 years ago, it's reminding me of how excited I was and really wanted to start using them, but I really wasn't sure how. So this is kind of, just to get people started, and just some little reminders, maybe places we could be using them and what to do with them. Really, the sky is the limit, but it can be pretty overwhelming if you, if you kind of go at it that way, because, versus maybe just looking at, you can start with things like, do you have maybe three personal issues that you'd like to address for yourself, and you can go out looking up how to do that. That's one way to just get started. And also maybe you're going at it from the point of, using more natural, safer, less toxic, less synthetic products in your home. So you might just start by cleaning out some of and replacing some of the products that you maybe have underneath your sink or in the bathroom, that kind of thing. So I do like to break it down into chunks, start off small. I think people are a lot more successful that way, versus the all or nothing and maybe getting overwhelmed and not sure what to do. I kind of tend to do the all or nothing way. But anyway, eventually we all find our way and find our niche. But and one thing I wanted to just make sure that people knew, if you're on Facebook and you'd like to be part of our Essential Possibilities Facebook group, please make sure that you're on that page. We try to have lots of great info and share questions, all that kind of stuff there. If we have classes coming up, and we have a lot of nice make and takes and things. So those are great places also to continue learning and finding out how to use the oils in different ways that you can use them. Make sure that your notifications are also turned on the Facebook page, so that things will pop up when they happen, so that you can see them and follow that. I also wanted to mention that we have a newsletter. So whether you're not, if people aren't on Facebook, they can also plug into our newsletter, which we put out monthly, and try to have some recipes for diffuser and maybe even some food ideas, that kind of things too. I am a big fan of just carrying around apps on our phones. So again, just a different way of finding out information about the oils. doTERRA has an app that's free called the Daily Drops. So you can actually get little tidbits of information and videos there. That's a really good source of information as well to learn. And there's other ones that you can find too. If you're listening in with us, if you don't mind just muting yourself unless you have a question there, and then we can not have any background noise there. Thanks. And if you have a question, I'm going to just put a little chat box up here so I can see that. So, another thing too, just for places where you can find information, I'm just going to share my screen here for a moment. And because nowadays, that's one thing, information, there's no shortage of it. There's lots of information. And I'm just going to point us in the direction of Screen share. We're just going to point you in the direction here of DoTERRA.com. So for anyone who hasn't been to DoTERRA.com, there's tons of information here for us to learn. I'm just trying to get my screen to a place where I can get it full screen here for us. There we go. And when you see, if you can see on the screen, I've just gone to doTERRA.com. And if you go under the products tabs, you can find information on the single oils, the blends, OnGuard products, Breathe, it goes on. Personal care supplements, weight management, collections that have diffusers. You can also learn information about the Healing Hands and other company information there. And go across the tabs. There's so much information here on what an essential oil is, why doTERRA, so why would you use it? They've got a little tab on safe uses. It goes on. But I'd like to point you in the direction under the Advocates tab. You can look to the left there and see that we've got the doTERRA blog. So they've got a product blog, a business blog, a science blog. A lot of people want to know, if they're doing research and what research is going on. And so you can check it out there. It's all here. They also have lots of tools. Under the tools, they've got something, there's a tab called literature here. And I wanted to point you in the direction of the Living magazine, because it is a guide a little magazine that doTERRA puts out. In the States, we get 4 of them. Every quarter, there's a new one. And in Canada right now, we get 1 per year. So these are available. These Living magazines are available in your back office or in your cart when you go to order. You can actually order them, and I'm going to say they might be $1.50 US in that price range. They're pretty reasonable. And you can order them to get a real magazine in your order when it comes, or you can actually go online and see them. So you can go back all the way, it looks like, to fall of 2013 online to view some of them. And they are great resources just for learning more about where the oils are sourced and a little bit more about the company, but tons of information on like recipes and maybe making up. Sometimes they'll do, recreate your gym bag or maybe a diaper bag, that kind of thing. So they have lots of information on how to use the oils that way, and how you can just little things that you can change in your home and replace with oils, medicine cabinet, that kind of thing. So tons of information there. And I also wanted to point you in the direction under Advocates. They've got an education tab. And here you're going to find things like the Empowered Life series. And it is a wonderful series of videos. And what it does is you can just pop in, and they've got many, many different categories. And a lot of the videos are 10 minutes a piece. Some of them are a little longer, 30 minutes max maybe. But you can just go in, and sometimes when I'm, making dinner, folding laundry, whatever, I can pop one on and listen to them. And I have learned so much about the oils that way, and been doing, hearing things that I've never thought of before, doing pretty simple things like even just buying for the kids in the catalog. They've got like, say, omega-3s in an oil, in an oil form in the bottle. I can't even think right now. You just pour the oil out versus taking them in a cap. So what I can do with that is, if I don't want to take a capsule of the omega-3s that day, I can just put some in my smoothie, that kind of thing. Or you can put that in your kids' smoothies if they don't like to take capsules. So it's just, an easy way to get the oils in just some different ideas that way. So what else did I want to let you know here? Okay. DoTerRAcom, Living magazine. All right. Oh, and back on that, when we were on that Living Magazine screen too, I ended up scrolling through and just missing out and showing you all the other information that's sitting there, just waiting for people to read too. So just be sure to check that kind of thing out. Even just take 5 minutes and go on and see what's there, because it's pretty amazing. Okay, so I just wanted to maybe talk a little bit and share. For me personally, again, I was telling you when I started with the oils, I was new. I didn't have anybody to tell me how to use them per se. I've never used them before in as much, like, no more than maybe knowing about lavender and tea tree oil. Um, and yeah, I really didn't know anything. So what we did right away was we found a resource book, and this wasn't exactly it. It was one that's a little different, but same idea. And we got our hands on a resource book, and literally from there, I had to do a mindset switch, because as much as I was, I didn't have many synthetic over-the-counter products in my house because I was slowly trying to get rid of them. But I would still have a few things. And so when I got a headache, or if I had a sore throat coming on, or some tummy upset, I had to stop myself and think about, okay, what tools do I have? What could I use here? And remember that, oh yeah, I've got these oils, and I could actually use the oils for that instead of like a Tylenol or something to that effect. And the cool thing about the oils, of course, is when we're using them to address something like a cold or a headache, they're meant to actually address the root problem versus just numbing out the problem and covering it up and masking it, which, if you need that, I would never say don't ever take over-the-counter things. But my first try for me was to do something that my body didn't have to detoxify. So I would try using the oils first. And there's times when, if they don't seem to be working, or if I haven't found the right mix for what's going on, I'll definitely go and take an Advil if I have a headache that won't stop. But I did have to make that mindset switch. And I would remember, oh yeah, I've got this book, and maybe I'm not sure what I would use for a sore throat. So I would just get my book, and I would look it up in the back, in the index, and find the page and see what oils it listed. And I had a lot of the oils right off the start, quite a huge collection. So I would just pick whatever one, start with one and just see if it would work. And the way you use that, if you are addressing something like you feel like you've got a cold coming on, or say you do have tummy upset, so you've got an issue now, and it's kind of, I would call that something acute, something that's starting right now and it's not very comfortable, and you want to address it right away. You can start taking the oils. They are 1 drop is a dose, and you can just start taking 1 drop and see how you are. Always check in and see how you feel after using the oils. Because if you don't feel anything different, maybe in another 15 minutes, you're going to take another drop and give it a reasonable amount of time. But if you've got the right combination of the right oil, you often can have some, see your results pretty quickly. So when you have something acute like that, you can take a drop, and you can take a drop every 15 minutes or so, once a half an hour, at least once an hour, and see how it does. Versus if you've got something that's more chronic, something that you're just using the oils for chronically every day, or that you're just trying to keep, maybe you're using them for cholesterol or whatever, you're going to use a lower dose. And maybe just use the oils once or twice a day and use them every day. So just know that it's a little bit different there. And then when you're using them, you can actually, diffusing the oils can help, getting them on the bottoms of your feet or along your spine, or if the oils are meant to be taken internally, of course, you can take them internally as well. So that's what I would do. I would just look up in the book and use the oils, see how I felt, and go from there. So that's something that's really important, is to keep tuned in to how you're feeling. And you might have to switch the oil. You might have to try something different. Especially an example I would have for that would be, say, for stress or anxiety or sleeping at night, because there's so many different causes for all of us, and biochemically we're all different too. So lavender may not work for everyone. For me, it might be vetiver is one that helps me sleep at night. It's a very sedating oil. Roman chamomile for me is another one that I absolutely love for stress and anxiety. And there's times when I'm feeling super stressed, that I've got that roller bottle and I'm putting it on constantly until I feel better. And that's maybe happening within a half an hour of me using it constantly. So if I was finding that 2 hours later or 3 hours later, I was no better, I would be switching and using another oil and seeing what might work that way. Something that I would, when I talk to people, when they're new, starting out, or just refreshing, is just reminding people too about putting the oils into roller bottles or spray bottles and having them ready. I try to set myself up for success when I'm using, well, for anything, and especially something new. So just for an example, I'm using my oils for, say, after I work out, if I'm running, whatever it is, cycling. I've been using Siberian Fur on my legs. And so I'm loving the new pump for the fractionated coconut oil bottle. So it's easy to pump out and then just use a drop or two in your hands. So that's easy. But the other thing I also like is getting a glass bottle or something, could be even a mason jar. So a glass bottle, and putting in quite a bit of fractionated coconut oil and, lots of drops of my Siberian Fur, and just having that mix ready to go. So it's just ready. I don't have to make it all the time, because there are times when you're rushed that you're not going to take the time to find your bottle and open it up and mix it up. So pre-mix it, take some time to pre-mix some things that you'd like to use. A lot of the things I use my oils for are things that I really don't like talking about. Toenail fungus, but I'll say it. I'll just use that one because there's a few others that, aren't pretty, but that's reality for a lot of us, and it works. So I keep, again, like I'm keeping those in a roller bottle. I keep it somewhere where it's easy to use. So for me, it's either my bedroom or my bathroom. So in the morning, I go through my routine, and at night before you go to bed, I'm putting these oils on. I have a mix for my thyroid just because I want to support my thyroid health, my face, different things. So again, it's just setting yourself up for success. And if you don't know where to get roller bottles, please ask us. I keep some here at my house, and we can make orders to get some in and share in the shipping of those kinds of things. So just let us know. Sometimes too, when people are starting out with oils, and when it comes to, a lot of us are doing it for health reasons, and just supporting our health and wanting to, I'm always saying I want to up level. I want to do, what more can I do? Okay, I've changed a few things in my diet. I'm feeling good. I've started to work out a little bit more. Now, what else can I do to, keep myself healthy? It's a lot easier to start now and keep yourself healthy and invest in yourself, versus waiting till something happens and then trying to make up time for that. So, so if I was starting out with the oils, and I was wanting to just do some things every day, just for daily habits that would support my body. Dr. Hill actually has a list, and I quickly was thinking about that right before we got on, and I couldn't find the list fast enough. But what he suggests, and part of his daily routine, is a drop of OnGuard oil every day. And there's a couple reasons. The OnGuard oil, you've probably been told, it's our preventative oil. You would take that to prevent viruses and bacterial infections and things like that, those kinds of threats. And you can take a drop every single day, just to support yourself that way. And if you feel something coming on, say you feel a scratchy throat, even though you've been taking it every day, that's when you'd want to up your dose and start taking it like that every 15 minutes, or drink it in your water, to get, hopefully get on top of that threat. And maybe, nip it in the bud before it becomes anything more. And there's other oils to support the immune system, and I would look them up too and get them on, as well as the OnGuard. The other reason why I would take OnGuard every day is it has clove oil in it, and clove oil is the highest antioxidant on the planet. So to get that in every day would give your body so many wonderful benefits. Without getting into the science or everything about oxidization, it's kind of like the rust in the car. Same thing in our body, and our cells. We suffer from oxidization just from breathing and eating every day. So that's what, when we see aging on people, and we all age differently. If we're taking antioxidants or have a lot of antioxidants in our diet, that's going to be very helpful for our cells. So, so Dr. Hill's top 5. So take a drop of OnGuard every day. I know that now he's added copaiba oil to that. He's added Siberian Fur as well. And Siberian Fur is one of the oils, one of the tree oils. I think it's the only one that you can take internally as well. And if you don't like the taste of these oils, you can put them in a veggie cap, which doTERRA sells, and you can get them perhaps at the local health food store here or wherever you might be, that you can just pop that little cap open, put the oils in that you like, and you don't have to taste them. I just put them under my tongue. It's quick and easy. So we've got OnGuard, Siberian Fur, copaiba oil. I know he's, of course, a huge proponent of the taking the supplements. And we could have an entire 1-hour call or more about why you might look at taking doTERRA supplements. And I just had a little note written down here. I watched a series on the brain about 6 weeks ago, and preventing Alzheimer's and memory loss and that kind of thing as we age. It's becoming a lot more, the word is not going to come to me quickly, prevalent in our society. And apparently with proper diets, the science, doctors are saying, we really it shouldn't be that prevalent. It should be something that's seen very rarely. So they're blaming it a lot on diet. And I was listening to a Dr. Pamela Wartian, and she's a specialist in memory and preventing memory loss. And she's saying the bare minimum that we should be doing is taking a multivitamin, a probiotic, and essential fatty acids every day, or your omega-3, 6s, and 9s. And that's just bare minimum. So it's not, it's kind of across the board when you talk to even the World Health Organization promotes us taking supplements, because we just don't get, even if you're trying and you have a healthy diet, we just don't get what we need in our diet. So doTERRA supplements are, one of the 5 daily habits. So you might want to look at them. And if you have any questions, please ask us. I'm just going to pick a couple of the top reasons why I'm a huge fan of them. They're actually made so differently than the vitamins that you find in the store shelves. They are loose packed, and they actually have like around up to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables in them. So, and those, and some of the vegetables, most of them are all green. And there's stuff that a lot of people don't like to eat, like kale and collard greens and that kind of thing. And they harvest these vegetables when they're at their peak ripeness. They're not, it's not like what we're getting in the grocery store that's, they're half ripe when they're on their way, and they may, be ripened somehow unnaturally. So they're picked at the peak time, and they're processed in a way that they're freeze dried, and then they're loose packed in the vitamins. So that's why when we're taking them, there are quite a few tablets that you actually take, but they're versus the ones on the store shelves are heat packed. So they actually have to, there's a system where they somehow, heat all the nutrients up to cram it all into one pill. But you lose a lot of the goodness of the micronutrients that are there. So that's something huge. And your body, because these vitamins are made using real food, real ingredients, your body actually recognizes them as such and can use them, versus a lot of the stuff in the store shelves, again, is synthetic. So you don't really get the good out of them. So that's one thing that's huge. The other thing that really stands out for me is the supplements. If you use the trio, they are so full of antioxidant and anti-inflammatory ingredients that a lot of people notice a reduction in pain when they're taking them. And then all of that combined, also a lot of people notice an improvement in sleep. And just think, if you're not in pain, if you're not having as much pain, probably you're going to sleep better. That just kind of makes sense too. And there's also oils. There's about 9 essential oils in the ingredients. I can just think of a couple: frankincense and chamomile. And they're so great for the cells of our bodies. And there's a lot of them, they're great for anxiety too. So I really noticed an improvement in my anxiety, which was enormous for me at the time. That was 5 years ago. So there's so many great reasons why you might want to look at the supplements, and really, really incredibly priced. In fact, Lauren, my daughter, the other day, she was listening to something, information about doTERRA's vitamins, and got the information that they don't even make money on them. They don't have them marked up very much at all. So they really are a fantastic price for us. So check those out. I think right now what I'll do is just talk a little bit about some reminders of the benefits of being on the Loyalty Rewards program. It may or may not be something that you are on, but it's something to really look at and consider if you aren't. It is the most generous rewards program out there, and it covers so much more than just the oils. And that was another thing. When I started 5 years ago using doTERRA, my focus, and even when I was sharing with other people, my focus was really all about just using the oils. And there are so many great reasons why you would, and so many great benefits. But there's so many other products that they have. And so the Loyalty Rewards program is all about rewarding loyal customers. Easy for me to say, that's a mouthful. So what they're looking for, they are looking for a monthly order. It's people that are ordering all the time. And so, but that being said, there's no minimum order. It's a really generous program. They don't expect a certain minimum order every month. So you could actually be in the program. And if you have a month where you're finding that you may not have really anything to get, you could just place an order for one item and still maintain your points that you have potentially saved up sitting in your cart that you don't maybe want to use at the moment. Now, this is an issue that I personally never have. I have switched all of my shopping that I can to doTERRA for several reasons. Free stuff is one of them. It's pretty amazing how much you actually can get for free when you get to a level. And when you're brand new, you'll start out at earning 10% of your order back in points. And if any of this is not clear, please talk to the person who introduced you to clarify all of this, because it's a lot of information. So you start off making 10% back of your order back in points. So if you made a $100 order, you would get 10 points back, which almost gets you a bottle of lemon oil, which is pretty amazing. After 12 months of ordering 50 points or more, you've built yourself up to a 30% level, which to me is huge. That means 30 points back on a $100 order. So depending on what you're ordering, that can really add up. And in a month or two, for me, yeah, there's always lots of free stuff that I can get. So that is huge. The other thing too, I really don't like spending any more time than I have to shopping. I very seldom shop in a drugstore anymore, but when I'm going out for grocery shopping, I'm not going down the aisles with laundry detergent and soap and all that kind of thing, because I've switched everything over to doTERRA. So my order comes in the mail or by courier, which again, it saves time. And I think a lot of us these days are looking for ways that we can do that, just to save a few minutes here and there. So it is great that we can order so many things without having to go to the grocery store for that, and it comes right to your door. So just breaking down the membership. So I was saying a 1 point order would maintain points that you have. A 50-point order or more, you're gaining points, you're earning points. And then a 125-point order that in a month, you're going to get the free product of the month. And we always know what that is on the first of the month. And you have to have that order in by the 15th. So they're encouraging people to order by the 15th of the month to do that. So, and just an added bonus of all this, when you use as many doTERRA products as you would like, you know, your house is cleaner, it's healthier, your air is much healthier, and the environment too. It's just so much safer for all of that, and your family. So, lots of reasons why you might look at that. I'm just going to have a quick look at my notes, to see what else I wanted to make sure. Yeah, I was going to make sure people, if people are familiar with placing a U.S. order and Canadian orders, and again, if that's something that you've never done or you're not sure about, please contact the person that that introduced you to doTERRA for assistance there. I would also encourage people to check out the products in the U.S. As long as our exchange rate is no more than 1.3 on the dollar, $1.30, as long as it's no more than that, it really doesn't cost you any more except for that little bit extra shipping to order from the U.S. And there's so many wonderful products that still are making their way here to the Canadian warehouse, and doTERRA is working on that as fast as they can. So eventually we'll have all the products here in Canada, but until we do, please check out the US once in a while. Sometimes we have people that maybe every other month they make a US order and save up what they might need for the people who like to order from Canada. So that's just something to keep in mind as well. So I'll maybe just check in, Mary Rose, if there's anything that you think that should be covered here. Just feel free to jump in or give me a little message. I was just going to finish off by just adding in doTERRA products have done so much for myself and for my family in so many ways. A lot of it's stress management, a lot of physical things that pop up, just illnesses, those, you know, typical everyday things that just occur, your coughs, your colds, your indigestion, your whatever those might be. And I think they're saying 80% of all that kind of thing can be addressed by using essential oils. So they've been so helpful. And if you're a customer, you know, for someone new, you maybe haven't had a lot of experiences. And for those customers who have been around for a while and have experienced the oils, and I want to say sometimes they're almost like magic, how they work. If there's anyone that you think of that might be interested in using the oils too, that might, you know, they might get just as much benefit as you have, please let us know, let the person who enrolled you know. We would love to keep sharing the oils to, you know, just to let other people know what's available, that we have our alternatives. Yeah, and there's always lots of classes going on, and any of us would be more than happy to, you know, come to you. You could host a class with friends and family too, and we can share happily our knowledge and what we know to, you never know, the oils might really benefit someone in ways that we can't imagine. So I think I've covered everything for tonight. And again, if any questions, we are always here to help, to be of assistance. And just let us know. And I hope you found this helpful.